So it's 27th of September and it's a glorious day today actually, and so I thought I'd give you a quick tour around the kitchen garden. A lot of the stuff in the kitchen garden has been summer crops which I've now replaced with crops for primarily spring. Most of the stuff that we're eating actually over winter is back on the allotment, and I'll do another tour of that in early October. So yeah, let's have a look around the kitchen garden. So right behind me here is my little seedling table, and it's getting to the point now where things are probably better in the polytunnel, but the polytunnel is just so full of stuff. So everything out here is hardy and pretty tough, but it's really going to benefit from being planted out pretty soon. So behind there are what's left of the tomatoes, and those are going to be taken out probably in about 2 weeks' time, because there's still a few on there and still pretty useful harvest. And all of these containers then will be replanted with garlic that will be harvested in May when it's green and gorgeous. I've got a few more tomatoes here and a few more chili peppers and things, but the main action really is in the kitchen garden proper. So let's have a walk through here. The grapes down the back there are absolutely stunning. They look so nice, but they also taste really good. They're a little bit softer, but they're seedless and really nice. So we've got a little bit of beetroot here. This isn't big enough for storage really, so we're just harvesting this fresh. And it was interplanted with salad onions, and you can see the last of the salad onions there just being harvested. This is the first year I've actually grown salad onions to have a kind of abundant harvest all the way through summer and early autumn. We normally don't have them until a bit later in autumn, so I've done a good job here. Got parsnips here. This was an onion bed interplanted with the parsnips, and then when we took the onions out, the parsnips just grew on. And this was a carrot bed. I've just finished harvesting that actually a couple of days ago, and so in here now we've got little winter miners lettuce plants, again interplanted with salad onions. And at the back there we've got various brassicas, some collards and some kale. The kale's doing great. It's a really prolific Asian kale, and the ones at the back there are just not getting enough light, you know, partly because of this little cherry tree here, partly because of that great big wall there and the overhanging grapes. And here we've got beetroot. This has really suffered from mildew, and so again, just size wise it's not big enough for storage, but they're fine, you know, you can keep eating those all the way through until the end of the year. And fortunately I put salad onions in there as well, so that bed's served dual purpose. More parsnips, again more onions there. Salad rocket, I put that in only a couple of weeks ago I think now, and that is looking ready for harvest next weekend. So yeah, that's pretty good, and I'll just harvest individual leaves, and these plants will keep going until the ones in the polytunnel are ready. And then I've got radish here. This is such a shady spot, I don't even think I'm going to bother planting anything into there, but I might try something. So I top dressed this lawn with spent potato compost a couple of weeks ago. It's looking really nice now. All that compost is incorporated down into the soil, and it's looking really great. So let's take a look at this bed. Oh, let's just start here actually. One of my grafted apple trees, and quite a nice harvest of it actually. We've just got that one solitary gorgeous apple there. Courgettes in these tubs, but I put winter miners lettuce in them now. And then in here we've got lamb's lettuce, just with a few salad onions down the back there. And we've got a lot of lamb's lettuce in the back garden. Lamb's lettuce does really well outside, and it kind of all will come in succession based on the amount of light that it's getting. So this isn't a particularly light spot, and so this probably won't be ready until, well, it's quite slow growing, so sort of December time, but we'll keep harvesting it probably through until February. And I've got lots of different types of brassicas down here, and again, it doesn't get very much light in winter down here, so these plants won't grow very much, and if you harvest them, they won't grow back very quickly. And that's why I tend to leave them until spring, and then they kind of really burst into life. And because they're still quite small plants, they last quite a long time before they go to seed. So let's just take a look down here. Kales, Kalan, this is the Kalan. More different kales, all different types, all the varieties and things you can find details of in my ebook. And we've got some little cabbages here. There's a few of these that have just sort of failed to grow at all, but there's enough there, there's plenty. We've been knocked over by the wind, we just had some nasty storms. Some more kales, and those are interplanted with turnips. And then another bed of parsnips, and that was interplanted with salad onions. Not much going on down the back there. There's just a new bed there of strawberries, and we didn't really get much of a harvest off it because it was just newly planted this year, and it's a shady spot. This is the challenge with gardens, so much shade. But higher hopes for it for next year. Blueberries have almost finished now. There's just this one plant with loads of them left on. But obviously the vast majority of them are green, so they probably won't ripen up before it dies back in the frost. But still looking beautiful. And then down here, this is where we've been harvesting the red cabbage. And so we had field beans, then we had red cabbage, and now we've got salad onions and lamb's lettuce again. And lamb's lettuce is also called corn salad. And then, again, bashed up in the storms, we've got some cauliflowers. And that is pretty much it for the kitchen garden. Oh, I've got my mini greenhouse. Let's just have a quick look in there. So I'm pleased to notice that because it really needed to be opened up. It was only closed because of that bad storm, and not so much to protect the things that are growing in it, like this, these guardsman salad onions and these Claytonia miner's lettuce. Really just closed just to protect the structure because it was pretty windy. So the French beans are almost finished now, and the runner beans, I'll be taking these out next week. And I've got these little hanging baskets down here, and pop some lettuce in them. That's doing okay. A bit windy for lettuce up here, but it's, they'll probably go in the polytunnel actually next week, but for now they're doing quite nicely up here. And then this was Potato Alley, and it kind of still is. There's all these containers are full of potatoes. We just leave the potatoes in the containers until we want them. So down here I've got my main crop potatoes, and down here I've got the second earlies, but I mean they all keep until April time anyway in the containers. It doesn't really matter. The only thing I'll do is I'll move all of these main crops when I tidy them up, which will probably be this week, and I'll just move them down here next to the wall so they get a little bit less rain. A few more there. So I've got enough containers for one a week until sort of the middle of April, which is when we'll have new potatoes again. And if we have a quick look in the front garden, still got quite a lot here. We've got quite a lot of kale. On the other side of that kale, we've got beetroot, and then a circle of red cabbages. And because this plant has kind of died back now, but it was kind of hanging over there, so that's why there's a big gap between the cabbages and the planter. But Pretty nice size. Again, it's a shady spot, as you can see. No sun at the moment. Some chard at the back there. A celery there. Celeriac there. And that is pretty much it for the front garden. Apart from these apple trees, we've just had the most amazing crop of apples off that tree and that little tree down there. Moved Bill and Ben from the allotment to this little spot because it's just so shady here. Basically nothing will grow. And we'll finish up in the conservatory and just started moving some of the winter squash in here. So these are the ones that were on Debbie's plot and some more down here. And we've got loads more on my plot, but they're not ready yet, so we'll harvest those later. And then here, because it's so foul outside, well, it isn't at the moment, but it has been so foul, I've got my lettuces in the conservatory. We haven't got the grow lights on, but they're getting enough light. And I've got a few more seedlings just starting. And yeah, so loads of Asian greens, loads of lettuces, more lamb's lettuce, and that, I think, is it. So if you want to know more about how I grow, then take a look down below in the description. There's loads and loads of resources there. So there's links to my ebook, to the reference information section of the ebook in particular, which details everything that we harvest, everything that we sow, everything that we plant, and all of those sorts of details, as well as links to loads more videos. So I hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.